I hope you were able to read this small, brief note on what are the problems Barry is facing. Now, let's look at the questions. Yes, yes, dear. Yes, Neha, because English is not their first language. So that's one. Okay, what else? Okay, there is an age difference. Very good. Okay, yes, age is one factor. Okay, yes, precision. Very good, Angel. That's where I think lack of education. Yes. Ah, yes, that's right. That's right, Neha. Again, I would request not to write in everyone. Do message privately because this will help others to think more. Otherwise, people will get ideas. So, yeah, too many employees to handle. Yes, yes, that's one. But we are just focusing on communication issues. What are the issues related to communication? And yes, okay. He's not doing what he has been talking about. So, yes, walk the talk is not there. So, what he talks, what he preaches, he is not practicing. Maybe, yes, that's right. Good. He posts notes saying, waiting, more precise and made a battle list of what things to be kept at what temperature. Okay, yes, that's right. That's one way to look at. Yes, good. Lack of education, yes, so that training can be more rigorous. Maturity, yes, Preksha, that's right. Maybe the age difference can be a barrier in communication. Yes, Vidhi, that's right. Maitri, if you want to say something, please do that. Because of different age groups, yes, age is a factor that we have discussed, people have discussed. Implement training period before hiring them. Now, is that okay? Now, age and training is an issue that people are talking about. So, do you think that it is in Barry's hands? What is in Barry's control? We talk about that. Age is not in Barry's control. Training is not in Barry's control. The cultural differences, it exists and it is not in Barry's control. So whatever is in Barry's control, can we talk about those issues only now? They should implement a training period. Yes, whatever is in Barry's control. Barry is a certified trainer, serve safe. He knows what to do, right? But his people don't do that. So what do you think he should do now? He's frustrated, right? He is frustrated. And we want to solve that issue. Given the problems, we know what the problems are, right? So we want a solution. We want to help Barry. He, he should try to be more casual with the employees. Yes, that's one way. Very good. He could give penalties. Okay, now this is really two different ways of handling the customer, the employees, your subordinates. Yes, there are two ways. Rathin is suggesting penalties. That means stick, and Tirth is suggesting using a casual manner, friendly manner. Now, we are talking of communication skills. So we need to be very careful. We are not HR managers, Rathin, right? If Barry is an HR manager, then he would use penalties. But he wants to solve something with and without losing employees, right? It's a busy day, you know, and the customers are coming in, and the owners of the restaurant are happy with what is happening in the restaurant, despite what he is feeling. Okay, let's try to understand this in a different way. The problem that he needs to communicate is safety, food safety, right? And if that is the issue, how now we know the problem that he needs to communicate the issue of food safety to his employees. Now, this is a problem. Now, can we focus on this and try to understand? He can call or communicate, make a group chat on post site on hygienic food. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, right? WhatsApp chat. Yeah, that's possible. Anything else? When you are talking of group chat, you have to also consider that many employees are coming from diverse cultural and ethnic background, right? So not all of them would be interested in using the kind of communication that we use. They all come from different culture, different age, and different ethnicity. So this might be one of the barriers, because he is writing in simple English, keep hot food hot and cold food cold, right? This is a very clearly written message, right? And he also has written, wash your hands always often. So is it going to influence the chat box? That's what I'm trying to understand. I think you have to think once again that how he is going to communicate to diverse group of people, just conveying three simple sentences. Keep hot food hot, cold food cold, and wash your hands always and often. This is what he needs to emphasize, he needs to communicate. If,
So to
yeah,
fight language,
one by one, dear.
okay. So to fight language barrier, I think you need to, convert, I think translate it to different languages, and uh, keep it in the kitchen so that they understand that what they're, because for many, their English is not their primary language. So he has
Yes,
written it in English.
yeah.
So he needs to write in other languages. Say some employees are French, so he needs to translate it into French and then write.
Okay, okay. So far, we know that his employees are hardworking, right? They work hard. They don't have any issues with the working system. But the only problem is communication. So yes, Preksha, that's right. That we can have instructions written in different languages. Yes, right.
Regarding that, we can try uh, putting on some plays for making them understand that what are the adverse effects of not keeping in mind the safety measures. Because at times only reading doesn't help, visualizing
Yes,
stuff also help us. So if we
yes.
create a play and help them understand, they are seeing a visual effect of something. So I guess it will come from them, from their heart, that we need to keep safety
Okay,
in
okay.
the kitchen or in the restaurant.
Okay, okay. So one can, if it is ethnic and cultural and linguistic differences, one can always reach out a person in different languages through translation, through visuals, and by creating an informal group, right? Whether it's online or on mobile. If they are not aware, on the spot training might not help, because you are going to disturb a lot of customers at the time. So Barry might need to consider visual images, translation, and talking to people informally as far as the communication strategies are working. right? So we have been trying to understand that how can we solve a problem if it relates to language and culture, right? Okay. Yes, there is a question. There is a chat. Let me just check. I think the owner should take some responsibility to doing regular checks, and I think that can help vary in their trains. Okay, now that's very interesting point. But if owners are going to take charge of the job, then there is no need for Barry to do the job, right? So we need to think before the owners, let's say managers or the higher authorities come and do the work of yours. You need to think really carefully. Uh, See, it's not a major issue. The sale is not going down. The customers are not complaining. The only issue that we have at this point is the communication problem. And it can be solved individually. And Barry is capable of doing that. He is trained to do that. We need to understand that context. Now, suppose with a communication problem, we start inviting higher authorities, in this case, the owners. What is your job then? Right? If an editor is asking me to write an issue for the next edition, if I'm writing it and I'm showing it to the editor, and editor says correct it, if I'm not correcting it, what is my job? That's what we need to understand. See, we always say that higher authorities should take responsibilities. But in this case, I think this multinational companies, the work organizations, institutions, government, they want people who can solve problems themselves. See, in business setup, what is important? Time is important. The number of hours you try to solve the problem is very crucial. So business is money. Time is money. So if you involve others and ask for their time, what is the use of your job? What is the use of your training? What is the use of your education? So before we think that I will invite others to solve my problem, think twice. બે બિલાડીની વાર્તા પણ તમને યાદ હશે ને, રોટલો બરાબર વેચવાનો વાંદરો ફાવી ગયો. This is like this. If owners, higher authorities are going to solve your problems, day-to-day problems, what is your job then? We need to think of that. And if you try to solve problems of your own and of others, you may get promoted easily. You may progress in your career easily if you are a problem solver. That's what Barry has to do. Don't invite others. Yes, he can. Yes, that's right, Rakshit. He can hire some assistant. Well, that's right. That's right. Assistant who knows what bilinguals, multilinguals. That's right. He can do that. So what we need to do is to understand that whenever we try to have a problem and its solution, we need to understand how it is going to be received by others, how it is going to be seen by others. My problem has its own solution, but if I invite others, they are going to have their views on the problem. And the first thought they are going to have is this, that Barry is not able to solve his problem on his own. We don't want to create that image, right? To discuss Barry. And now, whatever is given to us in the form of message, whatever is given to us in the form of, let's say, information, and that information or message is received by brain, and we receive it from different senses, olfactory, gustatory, kinesthetic, auditory, visual. A visual picture, you can see auditory, a clip that Maitri has just provided us. Kinesthetic, where I start working on something, I move, a movement. Gustatory, from your stomach, and olfactory, your nose. Now, these information, when we receive, are affected by different filters, and they are either deleted because not possible to process, not important or not acceptable. There is a kind of noise at present. When I was talking, a bell rang. It was not necessary, so my mind deleted that information immediately. I don't require it. And then the other filters that affect is distortion of the message. We try to understand the message differently. We try to shade the meaning. We try to change the meaning. We try to add meaning to the message. A pinch of salt. If Barry is going to invite others to solve his problem, this might happen. Owners might delete, we don't come, you solve your problem. His request to solve the problem might be distorted. He is able to solve the problem, but owners might see it differently because they are authorities. And the other filter that is going to apply is they are going to generalize. Generalize in the sense that Barry is not able to solve the problem, one, or Barry is incapable of solving problems related to multicultural, multilingual, and multi-ethnic team. So their brain may apply different meaning, and we don't want this to happen. What kind of mental image Barry wants the owners to have is dependent on him. His internal state of mind, as we said, that he is frustrated. So he needs to take a rest. He may take a rest. But then, even if he is taking rest, people are going to do the same thing. So is frustration going to help him at any point in time? No. So how can we nullify, very good word used today, how can we nullify whatever is happening inside our brain to solve the problem? And that will lead to a proper solution. So we have to think through all this. What kind of input we are going to give to our brain, and what are the filters that we need to think about? What are the images? What are the maps that we are going to create, positive or negative? What are the mental states that we carry? And it may affect whatever decision we are going to take, whatever response we are going to make, whatever behavioral aspect that we are performing. Right? So you need to think about this. Whenever you try and now prepare a response to somebody, whenever you try to solve a problem, you may say, how much do we have to think before we speak? If you make a habit today, it will be a part of you. Lawyers, all the professional speakers, orators, politicians, they have made this habit day in and day out. Journalists, their habit is like this. They have cultivated it, and we need to do that. We need to cultivate those habits, those skills. You know, when a bowler is bowling, fast bowler or a spin bowler, their muscles get tuned to the kind of bowling they are doing. Even the batsman, any exercise, you might have heard this phrase, muscle memory, right? Our body and mind both can be fine tuned. We just need to cultivate it. We need to create that memory, that way of doing things. We are not conscious. We don't do this consciously, but if we can do this from this day onwards, that how am I going to frame messages? How am I going to think about my own problem and to solve the problems? You can think about the problems that you have solved yourself and you have asked others to solve it.